and welcome to National Focus. I am Curvia John. In the headlines, geothermal power plant commissioning complete, Chinese scholarship recipients called to be ambassadors, and Flavours of the World returns in October. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Escape to Dominica this winter and embrace the warmth of our authentic, natural hot springs. Whether for deep relaxation or therapeutic healing, Dominica's volcanic springs offer an experience like no other. Choose the temperature that's right for you, from soothingly cool to luxuriously hot. A variety of natural hot springs await in the heart of Dominica, the nature island.
Welcome back. After months of testing and system adjustments, Dominica's geothermal power plant has successfully completed its commissioning process. The milestone marks the transition from testing to regular operation, and according to Domlec, consumers are already beginning to benefit. The utility says customers should notice lower electricity costs on their July bills, reflecting the growing contribution of geothermal energy to the national grid.
In fact, we have just published on our social media sites as well as our WhatsApp channel the actual impact that customers would see on their July bills. So basically for your July consumption, your bill that would be issued in August, we're showing customers that they will experience savings between 17–18% thereabout, right? Of course, that is dependent on whether or not your consumption is remain the same or is fairly equal across the months. If you have an increased consumption, then of course your bill will increase. But if your kilowatt hour consumption, when you look at your bill, the amount of kilowatt hours that you use, that the energy, if that is consistent across the months, then you should see a decrease on your July bill.
While consumers are seeing lower bills, Domlec says the completion of the commissioning process also means the electricity system is becoming more reliable. General Manager Dwayne Sinak says the island-wide outages experienced earlier this year were not caused by the geothermal plant itself, but by challenges created by integrating the new generation facility with the transmission network and battery energy storage system. Those issues, he says, have now been identified and corrected.
Those issues that we experienced, it was not directly related to the performance of the power plant, right? Or the performance of the geothermal fluid coming up from the ground to go to the power plant for conversion to electricity. Right, a lot of it had to do with, it had to do with the interconnection between the geothermal plant and our Fonkole site, where we basically take in the power and then distribute it to customers. So that there, as we mentioned before in updates, there are two parts to the geothermal project. There's the power plant, and then there's the transmission system. The transmission system, it's still under construction, right? But we are able to take advantage of part of that system to ensure that we can be able to accept geothermal power. So that is still under construction, and we experienced some issues in June. Even in July, we had one island-wide outage again. But essentially, we have identified the problems. We have made some adjustments. Just this week, one of the items that we mentioned before, the battery energy storage system, we had to make some adjustments to that as well. But essentially, a lot of the issues that we have identified in those issues, we were able to remedy them with the assets that were put in place to support the project, and one of them being that battery energy storage system, which is an integral part to deliver stability and to help with the reduction in costs of energy to customers.
CNAC says geothermal energy will not only reduce electricity costs, but also provide more stable prices by reducing dependence on imported fuel while strengthening the country's energy security. The 2026-2027 national budget will be presented on Tuesday, August 4th, when the House of Assembly meets for the first sitting of the 4th session of the 11th Parliament. As government prepares to unveil its financial plans for the upcoming year, understanding the national budget can help citizens better appreciate how public money is raised, allocated, and spent to support national development. Julian Morris has more.
Government will present its financial plans for the 2026-27 fiscal year when Parliament meets on August 4 for the annual budget presentation. The national budget will outline how much money government expects to collect, how much it plans to spend, and the priority areas that will shape national development over the coming year. But the budget is more than just a figure announced in Parliament. It is government's financial roadmap, showing where revenue is expected to come from and how those resources will be allocated. Each year, government estimates the revenue it expects to receive from sources such as taxes, fees, grants, and other income. Those projected revenues help determine how much can be spent on areas including healthcare, education, infrastructure, social services, and national security. The estimates of expenditure provide the detailed breakdown of government's planned spending across ministries, departments, and programs for the financial year. It is important to note that the budget does not mean all of the money is already sitting in government accounts. Rather, it is a projection of the income government expects to receive and how it plans to spend those funds during the year. If government plans to spend more than it expects to collect in revenue, the difference may be financed through borrowing, grants, or other approved sources of funding. As Parliament convenes on August 4, attention will be focused on the priorities outlined in the budget and what they could mean for citizens, businesses, and the country's economy. Julian Morris for the Government Information Service.
Thank you, Julian, for that report. Minister for Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, Honorable Octavia Alfred, has called on the recipients of the Chinese Scholarship Program to be ambassadors for Dominica. 7 young people, including 4 girls and 3 boys, received their scholarship acceptance letter at an award ceremony held on Wednesday, July 29 at the Chinese Embassy.
These scholarships are modern opportunities. They are doors to new knowledge, new skills, new cultures, new possibilities for our nation. To our students who will benefit, listen to me carefully. Respect the culture of the People's Republic of China. You're not just going to study. You are ambassadors of Dominica. This is your moment. I'll not tell you how many applications we had. And you were not chosen just because of your grades, because there were people with other nice grades too. But you were chosen because of your promise.
She encouraged them to take advantage of the opportunity and to return to Dominica to aid in its continuing development.
So I plead with you, don't take this opportunity for granted. You will be, when you return, builders of stronger schools, not just building, but what goes on inside this building, stronger hospitals, not just the building, but what goes on inside the building, the technology, and we already can do surgeries with doctors helping us outside of Dominica, being online, giving us instructions. So we come in quickly, and we're looking forward to you building a stronger Dominica.
Honorable Alfred urged the students to represent Dominica with pride and dignity for the duration of their studies.
You need to remember from where you came. Carry Dominica in your heart. Every classroom you sit in, every assignment you complete, every skill you learn, you should be thinking, Dominica, carry your flag with you. Learn with purpose. Learn everything you can, everything, and bring it home. Because the best way to honor this gift is to use it to lift others. Represent with pride. Work hard. Be disciplined. Be respectful. I don't have to tell you all that you know. Let the world see the quality of a Dominican mind and a Dominican heart.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
October is just around the corner. Time is running out. Get confirmed today.
Welcome back. The YT Kubuli Entrepreneurs Leve Mentorship Retreat, led by Jungle Bay in partnership with the Dominica Youth Business Trust, has helped foster a number of sustainable businesses across Dominica. WELL President Cheyenne Mornell says the success stories of WELL alumni are testament that young entrepreneurs can contribute to the economy.
These success stories prove that when young people are given structured business education, one-on-one mentorship, and access to networks, they deliver real economic results. So our call to action to our partners in the media, you are the primary storytellers of our island's economic development. When you highlight a young entrepreneur's journey, you don't just report the news. You show a teenager in Grand Bay, Marigot, or Portsmouth, or Dodan that their ideas are valuable and achievable. We ask you to partner with us throughout this cycle to share these success stories.
The WELL Retreat is being credited with creating meaningful connections and opening doors for aspiring entrepreneurs. One alumna, Dafrika Thomas, owner of Aura Orani Healing Sanctuary, shares how the experience continues to shape her business journey.
After the WELL program, I did not have all the answers, but I was no longer lost. I had a network of support which actually continues to grow up to this day. So one lesson at a time, one step at a time, I continue to build my nature's caress, so business. And then life surprised me. Jungle Bay called me and hired me as the spa manager. The same organization that had invested in me as a young entrepreneur was now trusting me to help lead one of the Caribbean's most respected wellness destination, Jungle Bay, if you didn't know. Over the years, I grew into the role of senior spa consultant, managing teams, training therapists, developing wellness experiences, and welcoming guests from all over the world. Every opportunity prepared me for the next. Today, I have the privilege of being the founder and owner of Aura Orani Healing Sanctuary, which is moving into its third year. And we are, as Mr. Roach said, relaunching at our new location on 3 Jewel Street this Saturday, August 1st. No, I did not come here to advertise Aura Orani. I mention it because it's proof that someone believing in a young person, investing in potential instead of perfection, when that happens, extraordinary things follow.
For many participants, the WELL Retreat has changed more than just their business operation. Marcus Coffey of Zion Art Gallery shares how the program reshaped his approach to growing his business.
What inspired me the most was when I started the WELL program, I just started selling paintings, and I'm going to tell you a story about my success, how I started, in the struggles of my business and the success. I started my business by painting and selling paintings, but everything was about money. So then when I started selling my paintings, the first painting I sold, I must say, I sold it to the minister, Vincent Desson. And then when I sold that first painting, I sold it for 2,500. So in that time I say, wow, I'm making a lot of money, man. But not knowing that business have its ups and downs, and business have its times when, it will be booming and then it will be low. And that is where you need a program like WELL, because it was all about money. And I'm saying, man, I'm going to make a lot of money, and I start doing a lot of paintings, not knowing that you have to go out there, you have to be prepared, you have to know how to speak to your customers, you have to know how to do your market survey, who's going to buy your painting.
The 6-day WELL retreat has impacted more than 100 entrepreneurs. Interested participants have until August 14 to register for the program, which runs from September 26 to October 1 at Jungle Bay. Registration is only $25, making the program accessible to aspiring entrepreneurs across Dominica. Taste the world, feel the rhythm, wear your heritage is the theme for the 2026 Flavours of the World Festival. The festival, now in its third year, was officially launched today at the Discover Dominica Authority. The cultural and culinary showcase is scheduled for October 4, 2026 at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium.
The value of an event should also be measured by the opportunities it creates for vendors, restaurants, entertainers, producers, and other businesses. As we strengthen our calendar of festivals and events, we want to see greater participation by local businesses and greater economic activity generated around these experiences. Flavours of the World has a place within that effort. Now in its third year, the festival has established objectives that include supporting local chefs, food businesses, and entertainers while contributing to Dominica's tourism and cultural product.
The event will bring together the food, music, and traditions of countries from around the world, offering patrons a vibrant celebration of global cultures. Miss Lake says proceeds from this year's festival will go towards the renovation of the Roseau Cathedral.
I also thank Archipelago Trading Limited and the other sponsors and partners whose investment and support are helping to make the event possible. We also recognize the charitable purpose attached to this year's festival, with proceeds supporting the renovation of the Roseau Cathedral. For the Ministry of Tourism and the Discover Dominica Authority, the continued development of the festival's pillar is ultimately about creating experiences that strengthen our destination while generating opportunities for our people. Our festivals and our culinary traditions can both contribute to that objective. So today, I also want to extend an invitation to the Dominican public, our visitors, and everyone who appreciates good food, entertainment, and cultural experiences. Come out on Sunday, October 4th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium forecourt and support the third edition of the Flavours of the World Festival.
Organizers say a wide variety of international cuisines will be featured, giving patrons an opportunity to experience the flavors of different countries in one location.
We will present Jamaican food, Lebanese food, Indian food, always my favorite, Chinese food, food from France, African food, Cuban food, Haitian food, Mexican, Venezuela, Asia, and the best of all the cuisines in the world, Dominica food.
And now for your weather updates. A high-pressure system will remain the dominant weather feature across the island this afternoon, generating occasionally cloudy and breezy conditions with a few passing showers. As the day progresses, an approaching tropical wave will increase moisture across the area, leading to a greater chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms from late tonight into tomorrow. Low concentrations of Saharan dust will continue to affect the area today. While air quality is expected to remain generally good, persons with asthma, allergies, or other respiratory conditions should continue to take the necessary precautions. Marine conditions will remain moderate during the next 24 hours, with waves reaching around 5 feet along the west coast and up to 8 feet along the east coast. A gradual decline in sea conditions is possible as a tropical wave approaches. Small craft operators should exercise extreme caution, particularly in open waters, while sea bathers are advised to avoid rough surf and exposed eastern beaches where strong waves and currents may create hazardous conditions. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS production team, I am Curvia John. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay safe.